throughout this conversation, there's been this thread, this theme that I'm picking up on that seems to be about a balance between, for example, the things you learned in New York versus when you left that life, the debate team, the communication versus like coaching style communication, very, very different. When it comes to masculinity, what have you found that balance to look like?
Great question. And continuing to find, right? It's an ongoing
Mm-hmm.
journey of the question I asked when, I started Man Tribe, 7 years ago, the impetus for that community of men, with coaching and programs and healing and everything that we did, as a group was essentially, what does it mean to be a man? Well, I can't answer that question, but we can answer that question. And then we can each, as a result of community, as a result of supporting each other, we can figure out what that means for us individually. The balance, I believe there's a baseline standard for myself, and I think for other men, and to me as an athlete, my physical fitness and my physical health is extremely important. As a father, a leader, a space holder, if I'm not strong in my body, there's not much I can do, right? So for me, that's a foundational piece.
Yeah.
That's a foundational pillar. That's essential, and I continue to train. I continue to get stronger because I know the stronger my body, the more that I can hold out there in the world. And that's when stress comes, when challenges comes, when all sorts of stuff. My body is going to be better suited to handle those things. So I think as
Mm-hmm.
men, our number one responsibility is our health. Even before family, on some sense, obviously we got to take care of ourselves, because if we can't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of our family or other people for that matter?
Totally.
So, I mean, that's number
Mm-hmm.
one, is taking care of my health. Is probably the most important thing in this life. And then understanding what the areas of divine masculine that I need to work on, understanding how I can be better with my wife, understanding how I can be really just more of a conscious man and understand my past and understand what's needed moving forward, and how I can let go of, you know, the negative patterns, habits, things that I've accumulated in my life in order to, for the right reasons, right? In order to survive in New York, for example, I pick up a way of being, I pick up a certain mental toughness, hardness, so to speak, that I don't necessarily need, living in a house versus living in an apartment, taking the subway every day, being a little bit more on guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so so that balance is mental, physical, and spiritual, really. It's I feel like my spiritual connection after what I've experienced in the past 10 years has definitely strengthened, and now it's really about the physical embodiment. It's about taking action. It's about really allowing the safe spaces to feel as a man and to express myself as a man. I started writing poetry again. You know, um, I started sleeping outside in my backyard in a tent, waking up to the sounds of the birds, sleeping on the earth, right? So I can, yeah, just open my heart, keeping a journal, bedside, and, writing some poetry, when I wake up in the morning, being inspired, right? Inspired by spirit. Spirit is in the word inspire. So just yeah, to me that's balance, being a, I'm a painter, I'm an artist as well, so just, it's like if I get the time to express myself creatively, it seems like, I'll get a short window, because I'm also raising a 4-year old, and with my wife, and
Yeah.
you know but it's just a beautiful thing to paint with him, or to, get artistic or play with him, and it opens my heart and allows me to really understand, why we're here, and,
Yeah.
when my inner child comes out to play with my 4-year-old son, it's such a beautiful thing. And I can let go of
Yeah.
the everyday worldly problems that we all share, and kind of just be in that moment.